Hello. Today I want to talk about mapping perspective on a box. And first I'm going to draw our 3D box first. And I put a vanishing point here and a vanishing point here. They're far apart to limit distortion of our box, because if we place them close together you would get a fair amount of distortion on the box. So as always, I am going to ghost my lines, which has to do with starting at the point where I want to draw and going to the end until I get comfortable and in the flow of executing drawing a line. And I'm going to do that for every side of our box. I went a bit too far. I feel like you can never have enough practice drawing a line. Okay, so now I'm not getting to the mapping yet, very soon, but first I'm going to draw like this side, that side, and the back side, but I'm keeping my vanishing points in mind. You don't always have to do this, but for this demonstration I'm going to practice it, which I think is a good thing for me to do. And I've realized whenever I do this, it seems like I'm always off by a little bit, which is very frustrating because I thought I had enough practice that my lines would be a lot closer, but I'll also plot them at the end to show how off I am. Think about there. Can never do enough ghosting lines. Now for the back side here. I always find the back side being so difficult to predict. I don't know why, but I always wonder what I'm kind of doing wrong. Sorry, I just noticed that speck there. But yeah, I'm always trying to think about what I'm doing, and I kind of plot it wrong. Sometimes I feel like I never get a good answer, and I tend to plot a dot in the range between the two that I plotted, because I was trying to go to that vanishing point from there and to that vanishing point from there, or from there, and it seems like I can never get it perfect, and maybe Maybe I just need to draw a bunch more until I eventually get it more perfect. Perfecter. I don't believe that's a word, but I'm rolling with it. Okay, we're working on our box here. Last side. I mean, I could draw through it. I'll probably draw through it. I'll make it three-dimensional. So I have to like plot another line down there, and I'm kind of trying to follow it through. Like this will go somewhere there along that line, and I'm trying to go from like here to there, and it'll be somewhere along that. I think about here. I'll go halfway. Now, okay, now for the main portion of this video, mapping the perspective. So when I talk about mapping, I'm talking about, like, let's say you have a house with a picture frame in it or something, and like a picture frame on the wall. Like that's what I mean by mapping. Like here, I learned from a book, The Design of Everyday Things by Donald Norman. The best mapping is to have stuff directly on the thing that it's going to be on. So if I would open an image, you know, it's easier to like have everything here and here directly on it. Like, okay, here, let me give another example. So you see the X here? When you click it, you want that to close what you want to close, and it would close the entire application. But if I have an image here and I just want to close that image, I would click that X to close the image. So it's like the best mapping is directly on the thing. So, I mean, much like these icons for this image that I have open, it would be much like a picture frame hanging in a house or even a window. So what I'm going to do right here, if you're looking, or sorry, on this plane side, I'm going to draw a couple dots and kind of show you what I mean. But the important thing here is that these lines, they all have to like be going towards the same vanishing point. So like they can't be like going over there or going over there. They all need to be converging towards their proper vanishing point. And since this side of the box is going towards VP2, it's important to keep that in mind when we do it. I'm probably going to be a little off because I'm freehanding it, and I find that the most fun thing for me to do because I feel like I'm always getting in extra practice on it with it. It's just what I'll show you. Like, I'll do this side, and then we'll map it. Or like we'll draw lines to the vanishing point to see how awful I did. But always know that you can get better over time. It just takes a heck of a lot of practice. And I already feel like it's off a bit, but I'm gonna go through with it. But yeah, it's something I've been thinking about, and it's kind of been like boiling in my head for mapping things directly on something. That line was so off. Yeah, a bit closer. It seems so off to me. I don't know why. This looks off. And of course, like, those lines should all be heading towards like some vanishing point off the screen. So, so before I plot it, I thought it would also be cool if maybe I kind of like made it a bit inset. So like, I want to make it kind of like in the building bit, or in the box, so it would be kind of going towards those vanishing points. And of course, when you have that, it can't be going that way. It's got to be going towards that VP1. So I'll show you. Think about there. Kind of like that, kind of like that. And so now that I think about it, I feel like I'm making a mistake of some sort. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't know enough yet on this subject. But like, I keep thinking like, it kind of makes it look like as if this was kind of floating above, and if I were to add like another dimension to it, it's kind of like a tacked on, puffed out window rather than its own thing. Like, I really didn't make it inset. I guess if I would have gone the other... No, maybe it is inset. This is a bad way to think of it, maybe. But like... Yeah, I keep thinking I made a mistake here, but I don't want to lead you astray, so I'm going to go back to this example, and I'm going to add a line to check. I'm going to call it check. And I'm going to make the line red, and we're going to see how wrong I am with some of these lines. Yeah, I was way off. And let's see about this. Way off there too. I just knew that one was going to be way off. So yeah, it wasn't perfect. I mean, clearly I can tell it's just way off, but like, I'm trying to think of how these kind of all converge towards their own point of some sort. Oops, why did I do that? They all got to be converging towards something. Well, yeah, I want to... even though my lines were all pretty off, which is really disappointing me, like, that was off. I don't know why it's drawing so big now. This was off, which is disappointing, and that kind of threw me off with that and that. Goes to show how much of the initial drawing you do sets you up for everything else. And perhaps I would have been better if I just plotted everything using the line tool rather than trying to do it freehandedly, but I wanted to get a little practice in for that. Well, thanks for listening. Even though I'm a bit disappointed with this video, I hope it kind of shows how to map stuff. I may have to revisit this again in the future, but if you have a question, please leave in the comments. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.